So we'll come to the Vivatta Kathadi. Now, this is where the Buddha Dhamma is actually. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to meet Ashutosh. I'm going to explain to him on this because we are going on uh, an explanation on how each of the views have come into existence. So it will be nice to see, why do we get a view? That's the first question. We get a view because we see from that point of view, that standpoint, which is true. So what are the views we are going to get? If we were to ask ourselves, there are various views we can get based upon what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we touch, what we smell, what we think, and how others are doing that. So everything is a view. And view need not be wrong and view need not be right also. So what Buddha says is that don't get into views, because views are just a standpoint. How do you get a standpoint? If that question is asked, how do you get a standpoint? From what do you take a standpoint? You take a standpoint from what you know is true or real. Okay, and that's a standpoint. So whether, let's say, Australia is doing good versus US, or US is doing good versus Australia, that depends on the perception what we have made for Australia or for US. Those people who are attached to US will feel US is better, and those people who are attached with Australia will feel Australia is better. And now the question comes, how do you measure? Then you create a artificial measurement based on economic condition or social or political or whatever it is, and then you say, because this is not there, and then that is the best country, or this is there and hence it's the best country, or this not being, this is the worst country. Okay, now is that the right viewpoint? And the answer is no, because now it can change. So let's say US economy falls down and Australian economy goes up, then we say Australian economy is doing better than US economy. On what basis? A lot of unemployment, a lot of changes, political issues, and this and that. So people can come up with various views to prove it right, because they see only that. So this kind of thing is called Ditti Gahanam. In fact, there are 10 of these, so we have not covered it. But in the views, if you see, there is Ditti Gantaram, Ditti Gahanam, like that, many of this. So the views will come into existence when we see what we see is the only truth. Again, if we were to ask a Sri Lankan, what do you think about Vipassana of Goenka? You get mixed response. If you ask Burmese at what do you think the Sri Lankan way of just listening to the discourse, would that help? They say no, there's only theory. That's their viewpoint. And if you were to ask Thai monks, what do you think? They say we don't care about those two, we are only caring about Vinaya. We are very disciplined people. Now, what view will you take then? Yes.
If I take a view like lying is bad, right? Is that a okay view to take?
Lying is bad from what point of view you have to see? Whether you're going to suffer of the consequence or you're going to suffer of the consequence. So all the 10 immoral deeds can be considered as a view, but why you should do it is the first question. So then Buddha says these are the reason why you shouldn't do it. I say I care a damn about it. And that's my view. Nobody can change it. That is what is called Uchchedavada, right? I care a damn. I mean, you are just making things up. You're making it up. There's nothing like you shouldn't tell lies or you shouldn't steal or whatever. That's fine. Animals do it. So why I shouldn't do it? And if somebody says you're going to get a rebirth in animal realm, he says that there is no rebirth as far as I've seen. It's just a belief. There's nothing called rebirth. So I would argue that is there any person who have come back and informed me that this is the world he was in? Now, has anybody informed me this is how the hell is after going there? Can they come and explain? And the answer is no. Nobody can explain anything to anyone. And why can't I argue? That's your viewpoint. Appreciate it. You don't want to steal, you don't want to tell lies. Appreciate it, but that's your view. So what Buddha is asking, you know that? He doesn't get into this problem. He says, without contact, can there be a view? Simple. He keeps it simple. Whatever view you're getting, telling lies is bad or telling lies is good. These are two views. Now, without a contact with the particular sense door, would there be anything called as telling lies or not telling lies? So he comes to the root of it. So the root of everything is chanda, interest, chanda mulaka. Then how it is possible? Manasikara. Okay. How it arises, asa. How it goes around in search of it, Vedana. So if you were to argue with the Buddha, he would not get into any argument because he would say, first you should have an interest to tell lies. And then you have to make up your mind. That is Manasikara. And then there should be some contact with the object. Some object has to be there and which comes into contact, which you think you're going to lose it. In order not to lose it, you're going to tell lies. Fair. Makes sense. It's not about whether telling lies is good or bad. Now that's a view. So he would say, what would you do? You will do it because you think that that item or that person or that thing is required by you. And hence it doesn't matter whether you tell lies. Yeah, because you want it. So Vedana samosarana sabbe dhamma. Samosarana is turning back. So every time you get pleasure, you turn back to get more pleasure out of it. So I'm telling lies to get pleasure from that object. Let's say, yes, go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering because this samaditi usually transform as right views, right? I'm just abstractly, I wonder if that's worth promoting, taking at some level. I guess it is at the beginning, but at some level, it's not.
No, if you have read the sutta properly, he just blast everything out. So he says, unless the person has seen the asa, the adhinava, nissarana like that, that's only seen by the Buddha, not by anyone. We are yet to come to that point. First, do you understand that why do you get into your view, whether it is called right view or wrong view or this view or that view? It's still a view. Now you should stop taking views. The whole 62 views is taking a viewpoint. There's nothing to take. In Buddha Dhamma, there is nothing called as taking views. It's understanding the views or not taking a view. The difference between understanding and taking. You take a view that this is good based upon some assumptions you're making. And it can turn bad later because the assumptions have changed. Whereas in the Buddha Dhamma, there's nothing called as a view because there's nothing to take. He says, I don't take anything. If I take, it becomes a problem. Then people can ask me, Yes, Aryu.
I guess as beginners, you take some views like there's Buddha, there's this, but in the process of practicing and getting deeper into Dhamma, you starting replacing the views with real, experiential truths, and then eventually you can remove all the views. Is that how it works?
I think I have to go from the beginning on this. See, I'm starting today. Okay? You have a view. Fine. I'm ending today as Arhat. Should I have a view? Should I have Buddha? Should I have Dhamma? Should I have Sangha? No. Once you are released, there is no Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Because that again becomes a viewpoint. So, what he asked in the Mahatanha Sankhya Sutta, are you learning this to hold like a raft on your back, or are you using it to cross the river? And if the answer is yes, I am using it to cross the river, then fair. But if I'm using it to hold on to the raft for further use, no. What does he say there? You see this? He says, because are you able to see? Are you sure able to see? What? With the contact of wood and fire comes the wood fire. If wood were not to be in contact with the fire, and if the fire were not to be in contact with wood, will you still say it is wood fire or twig fire or some paper fire or forest fire or something like that? And the answer is no. So he's saying, this is the purest Dhamma. Will you hold it tight? Or will you use it to come out of the suffering? And he asked it thrice, not once. He asked, are you sure you're saying that you're not holding it? Now, in the simile of the wood and the fire, wood represents the fuel, and the fire represents the consciousness. As long as there is fuel, so long the consciousness remains. Because Sati says that this consciousness is transmigrating. And Buddha is upset at Sati because he asked, which consciousness? Which consciousness are you talking about? Then Sati is stumbled. He doesn't know what to answer. Then he says, because do you see the problem of holding on to the view that there's one consciousness? I say there are six consciousness. There's not one. And he gives a simile that wood, twig, paper, like trash or something like that. He makes all the six of them. And he says, if this and this come in contact, then it is called as twig fire, wood fire, this fire, that fire. If they were not in contact. So what's the Buddha Dhamma about? It's about phassa. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Simple. Now we might argue, but phassa comes later in the Patisamutpada. Even for Patisamutpada, there is a phassa. Because tinna sangati phasso. Of what to what? Just like a wood with the fire becomes wood fire, in the same way, chakku with the rupa becomes chakku vinyana. If you have missed this important thing, you have missed the entire Dhamma. Because we have a view now. We take a view. The Brahma Jala Sutta, we are in one Jala. Jala means net. Either in this net or that net. Again, I repeat, wood, fire. Wood fire is what is called designated as wood fire. Eyesight is designated as seeing. Eyes and the sight, or eyes and the rupa, object to see, is treated as seeing. There's a conscious experience of what you're seeing. Ear and the sound, when they come in contact, there's a conscious experience of hearing. Without the conscious, can there be a hearing? Let's take another analogy. You go to a doctor, like my wife went. During my son's delivery, they gave her an injection. Okay. Anesthetic. So they bent her bone, her back, and then they pricked in the nervous system. So what happens? It cuts consciousness. So what exists? The body exists, but there's no consciousness. Now that doctor can cut, can do whatever they want on. Why? They removed the fire. If there were no consciousness, can you cut it like any kind of vegetable? Yes, you can. Who stops you? Take another example. Somebody has got paralysis. What's paralysis? The nerve which was running is no longer able to produce electric impulses. So the brain is trying its best to connect it, but there is no electrical impulses. So because just like in the electrical circuits, you don't find the power being going. So that portion of the wire no longer functions. So that person cannot feel anything. What do we say? There is no consciousness. So then the question comes, are you that consciousness? And the answer is no, because you wouldn't have become paralyzed if you existed there. And that's what Buddha Dhamma is. There is no you. It's just conditions coming, condition going. As long as the conditions are persisting, there is you or I. If the condition doesn't persist, gone. Like somebody while talking, there is a politician in India. He was giving a speech. And while giving a speech, he got paralysis of the mouth. Became like this. He should have asked, hey, come on, mouth, please come back. What, come back? No coming back. Now you speak like this. That's all. What you will do? So that's exactly what it is. No matter how much they can say, sir, you are such a greatest politician, we know. Yeah, I know what this was. Why? The consciousness is gone forever. So now you see who is attached to whom. As long as the fuel is there, so the fire. So there is a contact. With the contact comes the feeling. With the feeling comes a perception. With the preparations will come only with the contact and feeling. And hence Buddha says, without phassa or sparsha or samparka, whatever you want to call that as, can there be a feeling of anything whatsoever? I'm feeling there is Brahma realm. Excellent. How did you find out? What do you mean, how do you find out? It's there. Yes. How did you find it? I felt. Oh, you felt. How did you feel it? This is where Buddha squares everyone out. Without the contact, can you feel anything? And that's on. Whether they are God fearing people or not God fearing people, they partially believe in God and partially not believe in God, all washed out. Because for all of that views, you should have contact. There's no contact, no feeling. And are you are having sun. How do you know you have a sun? Because you feel it. How do you feel it? Because there's a contact. So when the object comes into your eye sense door, your consciousness makes it as fluke. Now Luke is created by fluke. Why? It just got created by fluke because you named it, right? So in all of us, it's just the perception is created because of the phassa, contact. That's the main essence of the Dhamma. So to get out of it, Buddha says you need to know the asada, the pleasure, adinava, danger, nissarana, escape. Like he says, rupasa asado. What is rupasa asado? Tell you that what you have got, gifted or given to your son, you bought something for him to play. And what you have bought for my son, for him to play, is asada. The moment that thing comes, it gives you a pleasure. But what is the adinava danger? The danger here is that item will not be long lasting. It will fall down or it will get aged or it will go out of existence because I lose interest. Like you were talking about your son having no interest in Lego toys. You bought thousands of dollars worth of Lego toys. Now, what do you do with that? You just put it in a box and keep it in a closet or in a basement and forget all about it. And when Luke becomes an adult and he checks out, he says, Dad, have you gone crazy? You want to play with these Lego toys? And you say, look, son, I bought it for you. It reminds me of you playing. He says, Dad, come on, grow up. I don't require any one of these. Give it away. But the child at that age didn't want it to give it. If somebody took the Lego, he would have shouted. But now he says, I don't require. Now what happens to $1,000 or $10,000 or as many dollars as you spent on that? Now you give it to someone, you start requesting, I have Lego toys, do you want to play? And some child will say, not these old ones, I want new ones, this is used. Now ultimately you put it in a trash bin. So the $1,000 or $10,000 is in trash. That's the end of it. Or you put it in front of your house and then somebody buys it and then you say, okay, I sold it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was thinking it's kind of like fire, burning through a forest. Whatever burns, it has interest, but then it passes on to the next one. And this one, viraga happens. And then
yes, absolutely. So the consciousness doesn't stay. It's a viewpoint. It's a view, a darkened view that I exist. And hence you start creating, oh, there's that realm. I need to go there. Yes, it'll take you there. Absolutely take you there. Why? Your consciousness can do anything. You name it, it does it. So what Buddha says, all innovations you have created so far, created through the mind. There can't be anything beyond the mind. Everything got created out of mind, right? But can you take mind as yours? No, it's idiotic. So the partial viewpoint will come that this body anyway is going off, but the mind is real. It survives after death. Yes, it does survive after death, and it will take another body as a fuel to exist. So then, do you call it as annihilationist view that it goes a real being going out of existence? And Buddha says there is no real being there. It's just the consciousness taking 6 different windows. First window is eyes, and the second window is ears. The third window is nose, and the fourth window is mouth, and the fifth window is the body, and the sixth window is itself. That's it. There's nothing more to it. And there's nothing less to it. Any question? So he says, Yato ko bhikkhave. Yeah, somebody. Yep. Have you had? No, you didn't. Yato ko bhikkhave bhikkhu channam pasayatanam samudayancha attagamancha asadancha adinavancha nisaranancha yathabhutam pajanati ayam imehi sabheva uttaritaram pajanati. So when a person knows truly the pasayatana, the ayatana, how it is coming, samudayancha, passa, samudaya, rising. Attagamancha, see now, attanga. Some time ago you were asking me about where in the sutta it says about Udaya and Attanga. It's there. Sunrise, sunset. Okay. Attangamancha. Asadancha, adinavancha, nisarnancha. Asada, enjoyment. Adinava, danger. Nisarana, escape. Yathabhutam pajanati ayam imevi sabheva uttaritaram pajanati. So, there is no other higher than this. So, nobody can challenge me. Yehi kechi bhikkhave samana va brahmana va pubbanta kappika va aparanta kappika va pubbanta paranta kappika va pubbanta paranta anudittino pubbanta parantan arabha aneka vihitani adimutti padani abhivadanti sabbe te imeva Dvasathiya 62. Pattu hi anto jatika yetta sitava ummujjamana ummujjanti yetta pariyapanna anto jalikatva ummujjamana ummujjanti. Ummujja means web. It's fully in the web now. This is like this. So, what is the summary of the Buddha's teaching? Come out of the passa, not Vedana, not Tanha, not Upadana, not Bhava, not Jati, like that. Passa Pachaya. That is dependent on the contact. Cut the contact. Okay. So, how do I do it practically? I was explaining this, I'll again explain. Let's say I'm in Bangalore And the answer is yes. Are you truly in Bangalore? The answer is no. Are you sitting at your home? And the answer is yes. Are you truly having a home? The answer is no. Are you having a body? And the answer is yes. Are you truly holding the body? The answer is no. Are you truly having eyes? The answer is no. Nose? No. Tongue? No. Body? No. Ears? No. That means you don't have it. I do have it, but they are Mara, not mine. They are Mara's because they die. When? In the night. When else? So do I take a view? No. Now, if I take a view, I just get into the web. If I don't take a view that I'm flying from here A to B, it's a view because there's no flying. It's just an action. There's nothing called flying. Who is flying? What is flying? It's in the mind. The flying in the mind. Then it becomes very, what we can say. Don't you think so? He's flying. The answer is, who is flying? Who is flying? Is it Patvi flying, Apo flying, Tejo flying, Vayu flying, Akasha flying, Vijnana flying? Which one? There's no contact. If there is no contact, is there a feeling of vilas? If there is no feeling of vilas, is there a perception of vilas then? If there is no feeling and perception, can you create something? Can you wish? Can you have a chetana? Is intention? And the answer is no. And you see this, nama means asa, vedana, sanya, chetana, manasikara. Now, to do the manasikara, you require chetana. And chetana will create sankhara as well as kamma. So, no intention, no ayonisa manasikara. It's just manasikara. It's just conscious experience. And that's it. So, if somebody asks me, then in that case, are you not going to this place or that place? Like Monday, I'm going to the office. Just as a convention, I say, I'm going to the office. But are you really going to the office? And the answer is no. Where is the office? What is the office you're talking about? And done. So the ending of defilements will happen when you cut out contact. It's done. So he says, my dear friend, if somebody says Tathagata is going to exist after death, I don't even exist now or get in the future. It's again a viewpoint. I see a statue of the Buddha and I say, wow, you know what? Yesterday night Buddha come in my dream. What I should answer? It's a viewpoint. I can't say no. I can't say yes. Say, yeah, it's good. But does really Buddha come in your dream? No. Because while alive itself, Tathagata was not there. How will he ever come back to show you something while being dead? So he says here, Uchinna भवन्तिको भिक्खवे तथागतस्य कायो तिष्ठति यावस्य कायो हसति ताव नं दक्कन्ति देवमनुस्य कायस्य भेदा उद्धं जीवित पर्यादान न nam dakkanti deva manussa. He gives an example of a mango stalk and the mango stalk is cut, all the mangoes are fallen down till the mango is completely destroyed. It seems there is a mango, after that no mango. And if I have a view Tathagata exists, like there are 6 views regarding Tathagata, which Vachagota keeps on asking him, tell me what's wrong with me. And patiently Buddha says, if I take this stand, it becomes wrong. If I take that stand, it becomes wrong. Why? Because there is a phassa. Only with contact you can feel anything, that Tathagata exists, Tathagata doesn't exist, and you can perceive. If I cut off the nothing. So now what should be my practice? Just this. Make it animitta. Creates desirelessness. And you are in shunya. Over. Yes, Aryu.
I guess to understand in a maybe simple way, these 10 questions or these fundamental questions, if Buddha say yes or accept truth of any of them, he accepts that the world is true. And that's the...
No, he takes a standpoint.
Yeah, and which makes this enter this whole Mara's domain. And
No, it's not nothing to do with the Mara domain. It is the contact. See, Aryu, some people get into this mistaken view when they look at the first statement of the Buddha after he attained Nibbana. Aneka jati sansara. Okay. Let me recite that for you or for everyone. So it says, Aneka jati sansaran sandhavisan aninbisan gahakara gave santo dukkha jati punapuna गहकारक धिट्टोसी पुनदेहम न कहा असि तब्बाते पस्सुका भग्गा गहकूटम तम विसंकितम विसंकारगतम चित्तम तनहानंगय मज्जग. So what they do is they take the last word which says tanaha cut. And in many sutta Buddha says tanaha is the cause of suffering. Even in the Four Noble Truths he says tanha. Fine, fair. Then what happens here is when I take tanha, craving, as the cause, the previous set is vedana. So then the question comes, can I cut vedana? Which makes sense. So what happens here is that I get to a view that I shouldn't react to the feeling. So now let's take some example. I have fallen down on the road and I'm bleeding. Now the ambulance comes and I'm awake and I say, dear sir, don't take me to the hospital. Why? Because I want to experience pain by not reacting to the pain. And that fellow will say, sir, you have no problem, but you will die. No, whether I die or live, but I've been told, just be an observer to the pain, to the bleeding. Just observe. Don't react. No, don't get up. Don't go to the hospital. Why? Because you're supposed to. After you keep on saying anicca, 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 that will go away. Right? It should go away, right? It's impermanent anyway. So your falling also was impermanent. So it will automatically go away. No issues. in one way right and another way wrong, because if you try to tackle only the feeling, yes, it's true. Feeling is dependent and it keeps on changing from this to that. First, there is pain. As soon as the body is getting recovered, the pain goes away. But how did you first get the pain? It's because of contact, nothing else. So, should I not cut the contact? Yes. How? Cut the nimitta of ambulance. You go to the hospital. Yes, Erin or Bobby, whoever.
Well, as you're talking about pain and the perception and the ambulance and all that reminds me of something. I just thought, like, so for my delivery, I was in Ireland that time. So for both the pregnancies, for the first time, Bobby was at work, and so by the time he came to see me in the hospital, I already had taken epidural. Epidural is that injection which you were talking about, Anjana ji.
Correct.
Yeah, so that. And Bobby was not very happy or not very impressed that I took the epidural. And for the second one, he said, he pre-warned me before going to the labor ward, don't take the epidural. But by the time the anesthetist came to the room, he was outside, he was on the phone call. And I told him, yeah, give me epidural because I can't bear the pain anymore, because I was going through the pain overnight, all through the night and then day, and then afternoon I went to the hospital. And then when he came back again to the room, he was very unimpressed that I was not.
Why I told is that I heard that this has a lot of side effects. That's the reason. But now when you say that that topic came because you just observe the pain, it is not that easy. That's what she is trying to say.
So is it good to observe the pain, not to take painkillers, or what is the Buddha teaching say?
Yes. You are on mute.
Oh, I was thinking you can tell Bobby, don't see, don't hear, don't think, don't smell.
So, how do you do it? So, there are 4 steps in Buddha Dhamma. First step, look at the object. What's really this object is? Nothing to do with pain or pleasure. What this object is? It's a named object. Simple. What's that object? It's a named object. Any named object. Anything that is named is an object. Because object only needs names. We all have names because we have objectified. We can objectify. And that's the reason you can take a photograph of it. So for your passport or visa or for this or for identification, blah, blah, why do they take photograph? Because that's an object. So as long as you can objectify, it's just an object. Any object. So the first thing is what it is made up of. It's just an object. First get into that. It's just an object. An object with a consciousness. There are 2 kinds of object. One object without consciousness. One with consciousness. But still an object. Come to the second step. What is the object made up of? What's the content of the object? The content of the object is the same. Earth element, water element, fire element, air element. In space. So 5. That's the second. Third one is look at the conscious experience. Are you getting the person or the object like iPad? Are you experiencing iPad or are you experiencing iPhone or are you experiencing Australia? Are you experiencing America like that? Or are you not experiencing it? If you are not experiencing it, done. If you are experiencing it, that means the contact has already got formed. Of what with what? Of you being in America, or you being in Australia, you being in India, you being here, you being there, like that. The you also has got created, and that experience is also coming up. So now when you're the fourth one, when you have pleasure and pain and neutral, you just know that it's a conscious experience of having pleasure. It's just pleasure, not due to an object, just pleasure. And this is just pain. And this is just neutral. So what Buddha says is consciousness only knows. It is the knower. What does it know? It knows this is sweet, this is sour, this is salty, this is astringent, like that. It just knows. Doesn't do anything beyond that. It's the perception which creates a problem, because in consciousness there is also perception. You have to change the perception, the way you're seeing things. So if a person is on the road, just watching the Vedana, which is the feeling, is not going to help. But he should not create hospital in his mind. He should not create ambulance in his mind. Then the mind is still. And he can be Nibbana. Even when that body is taken to the hospital, there is a lot of bleeding, so they are cutting and they're doing a lot of things, injection and this and that, and then the stitcher or whatever is being done and all that, whatever process that is to be done, but he is not worked up. Yes, there is body pain. Absolutely true. The Buddha says out of 2 arrows, 1 arrow you can eliminate. The second arrow, the first arrow cannot be eliminated. The second arrow can be. Second arrow is taking this asa to be true. Not. So there's no Vedana, there's no feeling, there's no mental feeling, there's no do manasa, so manasa. But for the person who has fallen down is or going to the labor ward, like what you're saying, there is physical discomfort. That's a conscious experience. Agree to that. Yes, there's going to be a physical discomfort, whatever that can be. Fair. So we take care of that, meaning I will bear it, because that comes only for this lifetime, a physical one. I just bear it. Like even before death, Buddha was having a lot of back pain. He couldn't stand. He couldn't do anything, but he just made sure that doesn't affect his mind. That got extinguished. That's what Buddha would say. So contact, you cut the contact. Just like electric supply, you pull the plug off. Electricity remains. But the equipment is not working. Why? There's no contact. But can you cut the feeling? No. The feeling is going to be there. Now, just by watching the feeling, many times it will go away. Agreed. But you're forcing it on. And then what happens? The feeling is there, still 1 day over, 2 day over, 3 day over. I keep on saying anicca, 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 anicca. It's not going. So the mind is getting worked up. Why this pain is not going? So he says, take action, no reaction. Reaction comes only when you create a nimitta, which is symbol. Don't create sign. And hence it is called as sanya vedeta nirodha. Sanya is the perception. You create symbol. And because of the symbol, it creates feeling. You cut both of them. Because consciousness has all the 3. It can knows, it feels, it perceives. Who says so? In the Mahavedala Sutta, yam vedeti tam sanjanati, yam sanjanati tam vijanati. What one feels, one perceives, And what one perceives, one cognizes. Yep. So if I am sitting in a flight, as an example, next month, sitting in the flight, is there a perception of the flight or is a feeling of the flight? Now it's a perception of the flight, because first time when I flew in my life, that was a feeling. But second time onwards, it's a perception. So when I sit in the flight, okay, the ticket says premier economy. Now you see this fun. There is first class, business class, premier economy, and then have economy. 4 categories. Is that a feeling or a perception? It's a feeling creating perception. For a person who has never flown in his life, is flying for the very first time, he feels economy. Please remember this. He feels economy. If somebody has booked him premier economy, he feels premier economy. Somebody has booked business class ticket for him, he feels business class. The feeling. It's the seat. Wow, what a thing, like that. Then first class. Okay, 4. Next time he flies, he perceives. Because of perception, there is feeling. It's not other way around. The pleasure what he got from the economy or premier economy or business or first class is registered symbol. Let's say I'm flying by Lufthansa or by American Airlines. Okay. 15 hours journey, Bangalore to San Francisco, going by AA or UA, United, whichever, American Airlines, sitting in the flight, flying for the very first time. That a feeling of perception is a feeling. And when you see land in San Francisco, the feeling of San Francisco. Inna Sangati Passo Passapache Vedana. Please remember this. Now there's a feeling of San Francisco, which is unique to him. It registers and creates a symbol, a dot. So next time when he lands in San Francisco, there's a perception of San Francisco and there's an expectation of the same feeling. Let's say there is a pleasurable feeling in landing in San Francisco. The next time the person lands in San Francisco, he expects better feeling than the first time, at least same, if not better. Then there is a lot of civil work happening in San Francisco. He feels irritated. Now there's a feeling, not perception. Because this he has never seen it. As somebody's dug up. Now he would say like this, if he's flown from India to San Francisco, and in India they have seen digging up all the time, he never expected digging in the US. And he sees, wow, you know what? Even in San Francisco, they dig like in Bangalore. Why? His feeling. Now his perception is changed. Earlier perception was the road will not be dug up. Now the new perception says that the road will be dug up. So why these changes are happening? It's because of the contact. What if right from the flight, I cut the contact? Will I be flying over? No. Will I be perceiving Bangalore and San Francisco? No. Will I be landing in San Francisco? No. Will I be flying from Bangalore then? No. Then what are you going to do? I just sit, can't answer. Because shunya is empty. There's nothing in there. And hence, for all the 15 hours, 50 minutes in flight, another 2 hours for immigration and all that, you can be in Nibbana. Yes, Aryu.
So are you saying for every experience, the first time, it always starts with Vedana,
Feeling, yes.
feeling,
Absolutely.
and then you label it, and now the circle begins, they reinforce.
Yes, they
But
reinforce.
then, yeah, and then to do this Indriya Samvara, you stop from labeling, stop from labeling. So eventually it loses the power of the power you created, and eventually the feeling, whatever arose, will stop to.
Exactly.
Alright.
Exactly. Mrutyunjay, go ahead.
Sir, the way you are trying to explain about that animitta and also, that is actually vimukha. We call it as vimukha, animitta vimukha, apanita vimukha, shunyata vimukha. Are you telling about that?
That is from Visuddhi Magga. I am talking from Sutta. There are only three things. Animitta, apanihita, shunyata.
So that is actually termed as vimukha in that Vishuddhi Magga.
Yes, because the vimokha means liberation, moksha.
Yes, yes.
So,
That's what when they tell as liberation, that vimukha, there it is also something like you are not getting contact, not getting attached with anything. So you are actually
Correct.
realizing the nibbana.
That is Nibbana.
Yes,
If you don't have a symbol,
so there is no question of likes and dislikes.
yes,
So there is you are actually in that state where there no likes, dislikes.
absolutely. So there's no moha. With moha
No
going,
moha, and everything is shunya, then
that's correct.
anatta.
Then it's got nothing to do with anatta or atta or anything.
Okay,
There's no labeling of atta or anatta also.
okay.
No label.
So what I just wanted to understand from this is there something difference between what in that vimukha, that portion is told there, and the way you are telling? What actually is the difference?
There's no difference. See, they put a word vimokha there.
Okay. It's same. That means it's same.
There's nothing to be same or different. That animitta will lead to apanihita.
Apanita, that will lead to shunyata.
That's all. Whether you call in each one, you add another word called vimokha or you don't add vimokha, it doesn't matter.
Okay, this happens. This should happen.
Yes, this should happen. Now, when
Okay.
I see Mrutyunjay here on the what is that, Google Meet, there is an apparent reality of talking
Yes.
to
Yes.
Mrutyunjay,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But is really, am I
No.
talking to Mrutyunjay? The answer is no.
No. No. No.
So if it is no, will there be a raga?
No.
Will there be dvesha?
No.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Good. Thank you, Mrutyunjay. Good question. Anyone else question? Any questions regarding this? Otherwise, we are done with Brahmajala Sutta. Yes, Erin or Bobby.
Vilashi, this eighth jhana, and we say that there is neither perception or feeling, right? So
Neither perception nor non-perception. Nothing to do with feeling.
okay, sorry, perception. So it is said that yesterday about Sutta, day for Shreyas and Pasapachaya Panya, or perception, right? It is the contact which makes you to have this perception also. So in that condition, that person is neither is not enlightened. That's what Buddha says, in that area. So what is the contact in that, the subtlest form of perception?
Very good question. If you go to a deep sleep right now, are you perceiving anything?
No.
Are you not perceiving anything? Will you not perceive
Yeah.
anything? You will perceive,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
So
yes.
when the sleep ends, you start perceiving. It means the perception was there. It was stopped for that moment. So neither perception nor non-perception is like a deep sleep state. The consciousness goes into a deep sleep. Like we can call it as in computer world called as hibernation. You put it on hibernating, or there are frogs who hibernate for 6 months. Just go to sleep. So on computer, you have something called sleep mode. Are you perceiving anything? The world around you? No, because there is no eyes, there's no ears, there's no tongue, there's no body, there's no nose, there's no mind to cognize anything. So when we go to sleep, each one of us, the 4 hour sleep, 8 hour sleep, 10 hour sleep, 2 hour sleep, whatever, it doesn't matter. Quantity doesn't matter. The time and space are cut instantaneously. You lose time. You don't get the sense of time. Example, I sit in the flight and I take some 5 glasses of wine, and the mind will go into sleep mode. I'm so hanged that when I close my eye and when I open up my eyes, showing 1 hour more to San Francisco. I've slept for 14 hours. Oh man, I couldn't even believe just 1 more hour flight. Why? No perception. What happened to the time? What happened to the space? That space from Bangalore to San Francisco, that space is cut. Isn't it or not? Let's say I take 10 glasses of wine, full bottle wine I had. And when the flight lands, the air hostess will come and say, hey, excuse me, we have landed. Landed? When? Where? Sir, please, you landed in San Francisco. You're totally drunk. San Francisco? What San Francisco? Sir, you have landed in San Francisco. You have to get out of this flight. Get out of what flight? So they take me and put me in one seat. Why? Because there's no perception. This person is mixed with perception. After he comes to his senses, when you say came back to senses means what? He started perceiving. The effect of alcohol reduced and then he started perceiving. He will ask the air hostess if that air hostess is still interested in talking to him. How did it happen? He says, sir, we were telling you not to drink so much. You were persistent. We gave it. Had a 1 full bottle of wine. You know how much ruckus have you created in the flight? We wanted to get you arrested. But you don't seem to be like that kind of a person. So we just pardoned you. See, I don't even shout at anyone. Excuse me. I have videos if you want. There's no perception. It can happen. Now forget the drinks. Come to the first jhana. Come to the second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Same exact effect. Gone. You're gone means what? There's no perception. But will you not get back? I don't know. Because if you don't have nimitta, you will not get back. Because that's the reason it's called 31st level. You're gone. Your heart is active. Everything is active. A person is not there, like in a coma person. When does he come back? We don't know. And that is neither perception, he cannot perceive, nor non-perception. You can't say he will not perceive forever. So you wait, hold on. You wait for long. How much long? We don't know. And Michael Schumacher, then lost perception. So they used to sit in front of him, show him Formula One cars and what he was playing and all that. 1 year went by. 2 years went by. 3 years went by. 4 years went by. Oh, no. That's the state of existence. Okay. Why? One mistake he did, not about Schumacher, but let's say somebody meditating. He has to make sure he brings in the sanya. Otherwise, it's gone. You don't know when it's going to come. That's another state of existence. So let's say the body ends. Example, the same example. The lifespan ends. The lifespan has got nothing to do with vijnana. The lifespan ends. The battery ends. Ayu. The usma departs. The vijnana is moved out. So take this body and they dump it, either in the ground or they burn it or do whatever. Now this being is in neva sanya na sanya ayatana. The ayatana is there. Chakka ayatana, sota ayatana, ghana ayatana, jiva ayatana, kaya ayatana. Hibernate. What's the point, Bobby? So when I sit in the flight, before I say good night in the flight, I have to have a nimitta. Wake me up at 4 p.m. PST or 4:30 p.m. PST or 5 p.m. PST. You know what's going to happen? It will exactly wake me up at 5 p.m. PST all the time. Like you can try this out. This will take you around a month. Today you set an alarm and keep on remembering the alarm. The alarm is at 4 a.m. in the morning. Alarm is at 4 a.m. in the morning. Alarm is at 4 a.m. in the morning. Now you stop the alarm exactly at 4 o'clock, not 3:55, not 4:05. You will get up. But this will happen in 30 days, anywhere within 30 days. You have to practice. It works. Now then afterward you don't require an alarm and stop having an alarm. You will exactly get up at 4 o'clock. Wow, can't believe it. 4 o'clock. How? That's a perception. That's a very practical way of doing it. Now,
What is the contact? What is the contact that time, Vilasi?
it
What is
comes
the
back.
perception?
The contact comes back.
No, like when you are in that state.
Huh.
Because of so you say that when that neither perception nor
There
non-perception
is a
there.
perception, but the perception is in hibernated state. See, consciousness can get into hibernation or not. Example, your wife sitting next to you, she had an injection. It's in hibernative state. Can she say in 5 minutes it's going to come back? So can she perceive? No. Can you say she will never perceive? As soon as the effect of the injection ends, consciousness comes. Same thing. Anesthesia is going to do that. It just cuts your perception and feeling of that particular part of the body. So you can't perceive the body any longer, or you can feel that part of the body. Yes. Wait. Let Bobby finish off.
Yeah, so then the next stage, like, when you say that this is peaceful, this is sublime, at that state you achieve, like, because you still, the mind is, when you are still in a alive state, not before, not parinibbana. This is where the mind resides, where that sublime state.
Yes.
So in that state, also this experience, you always say that experience is there. That yeah. So that experience is a feeling, or if that experience is caused by any basa, like any.
For everything, there's a phassa. See, now when you attain Nibbana and when you come back, you know you had Nibbana. You know it. But can you explain how? You can't. You know you slept, but can you explain how? You know you slept. You can say, I slept like a rock, I slept like this, I slept like that, but tell me exactly what did you sleep? No. Because there's no perception of sleeping. See, if the six sense doors are open, then you can experience something. If the six sense doors are closed, what will you experience? So there's no feeling, there's no perception. So you're asking, will you feel something? Will you perceive something? No. Like in the BRI, when I had on the 5th day onwards, till the 9th day, there's no perception and feeling. But I know that it is closed. But if you ask me...
Is it full time, like from the 5th day to the 9th day, is it full time?
No, I could go it at any time I wanted.
Because you have to do other activities, right?
Yes.
Going to eat,
after I sit in the Dhamma hall, gone. As it's easy. It's not big thing to do. Just remove the symbol out. The first thing I need to do is, when I sit in the Dhamma hall, I need to cut Dhamma hall. When I sit in Aryu's home, I should cut Aryu's home. I should cut Aryu. And that's the problem. If I'm attached to Aryu, I can't cut Aryu because all the thing will be coming on Aryu. So it's not going to work. I should, the snap of a finger, out, gone.
So Vilasji, like now when I am talking to you, anyway, these all things has to be practiced at present, right? So when I'm talking to you, like, I'm seeing your image and others also, but when your body is moving and all these things, sometimes I try to cut, like, what you said, like using the space, the nose, and even the sound as just so is that then how I'll hear what you're saying? Like, for example,
You
if
will
I
hear, Bobby, you know what? You think I was not hearing to what Goenka is saying there? But there is no struggle. It's just a sound. See, that what is said to Ba here. Dite dite mattam.
if there is only sound, how I'll understand whatever you're.
You will understand. You will not have Bobby there. I will not have Bobby there. I will not have Aryu there. If I'm sitting at Aryu's home and teaching him, and we sit in meditation, I will not have Aryu as a person in the sound. It's just a sound. Now you can't say there can't be any sound at all. No, that's wrong argument. There would be sound. So when I'm in Aryu's home, the Aryu's home is removed, Aryu is removed, everything around that is removed. But when I want it back, I can put it back. I've cleared it out.
But the sound what you are producing now, it has a meaning, right? It is not just a vibration, it has meaning. So for that, my brain should
Come on.
understand.
We'll do one thing. Whenever I meet you or when I come there, I will tell you how to do it, because this step has to be done.
No. What I am trying to say is that I understand what you're saying, but what I was trying to say is that sometimes you also have to perceive the meaning, right? Because otherwise, I will not understand what you're.
Now you have to perceive the meaning, Bobby.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
But now when you want to snap a finger and go
Okay.
off,
Yeah, I can do that.
Bobby, tell me this. Erin can understand it. She will say, "Thank you very much, Vilas Ji," means I'm going, right? Meaning I want to go and sleep. At
I
least
want to sleep.
there is a trigger, right? There is a perception of sleep, yes or no?
Yes,
There's a feeling of sleep, yes or no?
yes.
Okay. Now she goes and hits the bed. We say hitting the bed. It just, you don't hit the bed, correct? You sleep on the bed, but it said hitting the bed. It's just a word, right? So now when she goes and falls on the bed, which sense door cuts first? You see this. First sense door, nose, out. Tongue, out. Can you taste when you're...
Why nose is first? I have never noticed all this.
Please notice, no. Don't ask me
Yeah.
question. Tonight you do it.
Okay,
You will not be able to smell.
first.
If you're getting into dream stage, no smell will be there. See, as soon as you sleep, you're taken into a dream world. Limited dream, but yes, dream world. In the dream world, there is no nose sense door. There is no tongue sense door. Two are gone. You're left with how many? Ear, eyes, body. The next sense door which will close off is the eyes, because you start seeing images in your dream. So the eye sense door is gone. Now you're left with two sense door, body and the ear. Since you're dreaming, it becomes, the body is removed away. So the fourth sense door, the body is gone. Now you're left with ear. You can still hear. But let's say I'm sleeping and my wife is snoring. I don't know what I'm talking actually. Why? Because the ear sense door, nothing can be perceived properly. You're just perceiving the sound, and that's it. That's the reason when a mosquito is flying nearby, try to do something, because the ear sense door is active. The fifth sense door. Now you're totally in dream. Completely in dream. After that, mind keeps on playing and playing and playing the same melody. Then the other sense doors are closed. Mind closes off. So then you can pronounce dead. Who? Merin. As far as she is concerned, she is dead. But you know Merin is sleeping. That's your perception. But honestly speaking, she is dead. She has no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. Yes, you are on mute.
Yes, but I can see this body arising and passing, like,
That is because of Ayu and Usma. That has got nothing to do with Vinyana. There's no Vinyana, right?
Yeah, that is the question I was telling, Marin. So this Ayu, that Jiva Indriya, that is a,
Jivit
is that
Indriya.
is that a part of mind also? Nothing. It's a separate thing at all.
You will
Completely.
get it because of the mind. So what Buddha says, Ayu and Usma come into existence due to your karma, what you have created. So you will have a limited Ayu. Somebody has killed someone and he will have a limited Ayu. So what is going to happen? The life will be cut. The Vijnana could have stayed for 90 years, but 20 years.
And Vilashi, like this, there is a earth element, water element, all these elements, with the rupa, and the conscious element, that vijnana element. So this Ayu and Usma comes under which element?
Sir, this will become a mental blabber. Let's leave that to rest for some time on how Ayu comes and how Usma comes and all that. What we need to know at this stage is there is three things. Ayu, Usma, Vijnana. Any sutta reference, refer to Mahavedala Sutta. Under section, it says what exists, what doesn't exist. Please do that. Sariputta clearly explains unless Ayu Usma Vijnana is there, somebody is called as alive. When the Ayu Usma Vijnana is not there, somebody is dead. And then he asked this question, then Sariputta, tell me, Nirodha Samapatti, what happens? So you search for Nirodha Samapatti, you will get to see. But I'm not going to answer how long is the Ayu and why, even though I know it, because it's going to go literally somewhere. And I need a confirmation that you are an anagami to explain to you about Ayu. Then I will teach you how to know about the Ayu of yours.
Thank you, Vilashi.
Then you can know your battery age.
How long the Ayu is there?
So if I, let's say as an example, if I keep this heart and lungs, heart, liver, and kidneys in the present shape, I can extend it to more than 100. The Ayu. The Usma will remain till there. Now it comes on Vijnana. The Vijnana has nothing called as Ayu and Usma. So it stays till the Ayu and Usma is there. So how do you get a lifespan? It depends on what karma you have done. The 10 immoral deeds. So I didn't want it to take so much long. I thought, let me still tell you. So if you don't have 10 immoral deeds, you have big Ayu. If you have 10 immoral deeds of the past, and then your Ayu gets cut. How? I'll also tell you that so that you don't get worked up. You'll get situation where you keep on worrying. That cuts Usma, prana. Every worry cuts prana. So your Ayu will come down. The more unease you are, the lesser prana you have. The lesser the prana you have, the lesser the Ayu you have. Because the battery is getting drained. So you get into diseases. You means that body gets into diseases. So when the Ayu is low, the prana is low, the diseases take over. Because you are not at ease, and hence it is called disease. Okay. That's called roga. Okay. When roga happens, viyoga starts. Because you are out of yoga. You should have been in yoga, but you are now in viyoga. And the Ayu is drastically removed. So the person goes into aging process fast. Okay. And cite an example. I used to go for a yoga class. Some years ago, they used to charge me a good amount of money. A brother died in the US a few days ago while climbing a mountain. He was 53-year-old. He's done so much of yoga, he teaches across the globe. Okay. Now, how did the Ayu then end? What did he do to end an Ayu? out of the 10 immoral deeds, one of them will trigger. And that's it. Over. Game over. So Buddha says the first thing you need to do is remove the 10 immoral deeds. Because then only you will go back to Abhasara realm of existence. Because there you didn't have this Ayu. You had only Vijnana. This battery compartment was not required. So Bobby, you know what? We need to work out on both Ayu and Usma. So less speaking, less doing everything, less worry, no running around anywhere, then your Ayu is lengthened. Length of the Ayu is more. And hence Buddha can ask, he asked Ananda, shall I extend my life? And Buddha, Ananda did not answer. Second time he asked, and third time he asked. And then in the Parinibbana Sutta, he says, I asked you, you never said, I could have extended. Now you don't cry. I've already given up my Jivit Indriya. That means I've given up my Ayu. I've given it back. But that's a battery. I go to the store, Apple store, and I take my iPhone with me. I don't require iPhone anymore. I say, remove the battery, take it. After 3 months from today, this battery is yours. Without the battery, the phone is dead. So 3 months from now. So the Usma, the heat, what is generated in that iPhone is gone. This prana is gone. So how are you getting prana? Food. How are you extending Ayu? By the food, what do you eat? And how you are mentally, both. And Mahavedala Sutta teaches you how to do it, actually. Okay, good. Any other question before we close? May, you have been silent. This is what I can say. I can't pardon you for this.
I'm silently listening.
Okay. Anyone else? Any question? Otherwise, we can close. We are done with DN1. We'll take MN1, Majjhima Nikaya 1, which is Mula Pariyaya Sutta, the most favorite sutta. MN1. 24 things. Yes, sir.
So it's basically what by Animita Vimukha, Papanita Vimukha, and Shunita Vimukha, that is what that Baya also did that same thing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Anyone from any tradition, any religion, anything can, if he learns this Animitta, Apanita, Shunyata, he can be in Nibbana. Simple. Straightforward. So the question comes, Baya was from a different background. He was not a Buddhist. And how did he do it? And then they would say some stories. It's not like that. Anyone who can get this, he can understand Nibbana. No one need to be a Buddhist to enter into Nibbana. There's no rule that you should be a Buddhist. Because that's still a nimitta. There's nothing called Buddhist.
So basically understanding the way Nibbana to be understood.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all what it is. That's most important. Shall we end then? What you both are talking? We can only see.
No. She's telling like I will not say thank you, Vilasji. but
Now it is not in the night for her to say, thank you, Vilasji, I want to go to sleep. Okay, so we still meet at 8 p.m. your time.
okay, thank you, Vilas.
All right. Okay, good night. Sorry, good evening and good night and good day to everyone.